Well, welcome to another episode of The Ordinary Gentleman. This is a bit of a briefer one, but it is something that I've been thinking of recently, and I trust it'll be beneficial to us as gentlemen, wherever you may find yourself. And that's just really this aspect of taking initiative. The trouble is that as men, I think we are uniquely tempted toward laziness and passivity. I think that just comes from the curse, the fact that we were made to lead, take responsibility, and Adam, abdicated that responsibility and was passive in response to his wife and her temptation. I think that just means that unfortunately, that is our particular area of temptation going forward. And I found that that's quite helpful for me to keep in mind. It helps me to spot when I'm being tempted, and to look for ways to overcome that. But just this taking of initiative, there's two areas where I'm thinking we need to be mindful of this. The one is in the area of offering help. So we don't want to allow others to scurry around us, serving us all the time. Of course, it is a great blessing, especially for those who are married, to have a helper who is fit for you. The Lord has blessed men with wives who are there to help us fulfill our responsibilities. And that is a tremendous blessing, but it's also opportunity for us to just express laziness and passivity. And often men realize that their wife is doing a lot of the work, or their mother, perhaps if you're still at home, is doing a lot of the work, a lot of the tasks required for a house to function well. And so they sort of feel this inner urge to offer their help, but they don't really want to help. So they'll say, "Is there anything that you need me to do?" Or "Is everything okay?" And I just want to encourage us to actually go a little bit further than that, and to think about how you can do what may be needed around the house. And so if you're going to ask such a question, think before about some possible ways in which you can help. And so instead of saying, "How can I help?" say, "I was wondering if there's any way that I could help. Could I sweep the floor? Could I take the rubbish out? Could I feed the animals? Could I wash the dishes? Could I bath the kids?" You'll obviously know the things that are common to your context, but basically to come up with some options instead of just leaving it open-ended, or simply to just do it without being asked. So I think just taking initiative in that sense will be really helpful. The other thing is related to that, and it's just realizing that to lead doesn't mean that you always make the decision. You can involve others in the making of decisions, but it does mean that you've got a plan. And so if it comes down to, should we go to this restaurant or that restaurant, you don't need to make the final call, but I think it's always helpful to have suggestions. So, "Hey, honey, do you want to go to restaurant A, or do you want to go to restaurant B? What do you feel like tonight?" "I feel like restaurant A." That's really, really helpful. Or someone comes to you and says, "What do you think we should do in this situation? Should we do X, Y, or Z?" Not to go, a lot of people, not just men, I've heard a lot of people who go, "Oh no, I don't really mind, whatever you prefer." And that's just a super unhelpful answer. It's actually a lazy answer. It comes across as being very kind and thoughtful and deferring to the other person, but in fact I think it's really just lazy. So I think in those situations, even if you want to defer to the other person, answer the question. If they ask you, Do you want A, B, or C? What do you think is best? Say, well, I think B is probably going to be best. What do you think? And that way you can just be helpful by shouldering responsibility, by sticking your neck out, by making a call. Even if that's a bad call, often just making a call is better than inaction and indecision. So that's all I've got for you today. But let me encourage you to be looking for areas in which you can be constructive, taking responsibility, taking initiative. That's it. Go well. Till next time.